Hey, what's up, familia? Today I'm going to show you how you can make your own custom utility pocket journal. And these are all the tools you're going to need. Oh, and this, and washi tape. But that's it. You might be asking, Leo, what is a pocket utility journal? Well, this journal was specifically designed to fit in the Carpenter pants utility pocket that's on the side of your pants. It's a perfect size for it. And I'm going to show you how to make it right here, right now. So grab your tools and let's get started. The paper that I'm going to use today is this cardstock pen and gear paper that I found at Walmart. It is a 67-pound cardstock paper, but you can use whatever paper you'd like. The only reason why I like to use this paper is because it's a little bit thicker. It does really well with different types of ink, and I can sketch on it, and the chances of our paper tearing are very minimal. So grab a sheet of paper, just one. That's all you're going to need. Now, I understand that not all of you have access to a board like this. This is a scoring board. It has grooves that allow you to mark where you want a paper to fold. So I'm going to show you how to build it without this. I will be using a bone folder. You don't need to use this. You can always use the back end of your scissors, and I'll show you how, okay? So the first thing we're going to want to do with our paper is fold it in half the short way. The short way. Why do I keep whistling every time I say short? There it is. We're going to go edge to edge. Let these edges meet. Go down the center and fold it. Now, the bone folder, what it does is it helps make that crease even tighter by pressing down onto that crease so that it flattens out that paper even more. But you don't need to use that. You can use the back end of your scissors and you kind of get almost the same effect. Not quite, but you do. And then once you make that fold, we're going to cut down the middle. You can take your scissors or you can take a ruler and a blade and cut it with the blade. Or the third option is hold your ruler firmly and just pull the paper so that it tears right there, right along that line you just made. This is a little bit messier of a look. If you don't care, perfect. You don't have to worry about it. It does not have to be perfect. This just has to be done as easily as you possibly can so that you can be encouraged to make more of them. That's the point. You don't want to make this into a daunting task where you don't even want to make these because it's not worth your trouble. So this booklet is 5.5, obviously, because we cut the paper right in half, and half of 11 is 5.5 by 2.5. So we're going to want to make a fold at 2.5. And here's how I do it. You may have a better way of doing this, but this is how I do it. I set my ruler at 0 on one end. I take a pencil and I mark 2.5. And then I'm going to go down at the bottom and do the same. Mark at 2.5. Align our ruler up to those marks that we made and make sure that they're lined up. We can lift up our paper, press firmly, lift the paper up and mark it. Right there, just press, just use your nail to press down up against that. Now you see I have a straight line from the marks that I just made. And then just fold and take the back part of our scissors and fold. Okay. I will get just a tighter fold by using this. I don't know why, but I do. All right. And then what we're going to do is flip this over and now we're just going to wing it. I'm going to make sure that this lines up before I press down. I'm going to try to bring this closer to fit this line. I don't know if I'm explaining that correctly, but I want it to be right on that line so that it could be a nice straight line. See that here and here. And all I need to do is just press down and I'll have a straight fold there and tighten that crease up. And then for this last section here, another way to do it is to draw a line here like this. And as you're folding, keep your eye on that line so that you can fold right there on that line. Use that line to guide you. You'll find it on both sides and then crease right down the middle. I don't know how I feel about this last fold. Yeah, it's sticking out just a tiny little bit because I pushed it out with the bone folder. So we got that part, and then we just repeat for the other half. Now you can repeat that process for the second one. I'm going to show you how you do it if you have one of these. And if you don't, I'm going to show you how easy it is to get it done with one of these. I got this at the Hobby Lobby for like 14 bucks. It came with a scoring bone folder like this one. And it came with a triangle as well. So you can make envelopes. So what you do is we're doing 2.5, right? So we're going to mark at 2.5. I'm going to flip it backwards because I need that crease to fold the other way. I'm going to mark 5. Then I'm going to fold it one more time and mark at 7.5. And now we have 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. And just like that, I fold this one. I fold this one back. Sometimes these lines aren't as straight as I hope they'd be or as I want them to be, but that's fine. We're not looking for perfection. We're just looking to get it as close as we possibly can and be excited that at the end of this, we can say, I made this. Right? And I have that same fold. I'm not sponsored by Hobby Lobby, by the way, so you don't have to feel like I'm selling you on anything. But if the Hobby Lobby would like to sponsor the channel, hit me up, you know. All right, and now we have our two parts that make up this journal. And we're going to fold them this way and make sure that the ends that are facing downward meet. Not this. Now all we need to do is join these two. We're going to try something new that we recently discovered on a live chat, to use washi tape to join them together. If you don't have washi tape, by the way, you can still use regular Scotch tape, or duct tape even will work. So one of the things that I like to do is I like to grab those parts that I'm going to join together and clip them. You can use little clips like this, paper clips, or you could even just add a piece of tape temporarily there to hold them in place together. I don't like using the tape because sometimes the tape will rip out the paper, and I don't like that. So as you notice too, the part that we tore is on one side and then the other half has it at the bottom. I don't care about that, but if you do, just take your time with those scissors or with the blade and cut a nice little edge. I recommend you don't care, but it's totally up to you. All right, so once we clip this together, I'm going to bring that in so those two papers are like this, and now they're sandwiched together like this. I'm going to use this line to guide me. If you don't have that, you're going to have to just wing it or find some way to orient yourself. And then you're going to take your tape. And what I want you to do is just tape half of it. Okay. You're going to tape only half. You see how I laid it down? I'm using the tape to tell me where that center is. And now I know where the center of that journal is because I lined that up beforehand. See, now half of the tape is on this paper and the other half is on my desk. Then I want you to take a blade and cut that little extra piece, and then take this other side and take a piece of tape, cut that. See, now you have a clean cut, and now you have that over here. Remove it off of the table, and you can do it this way or you can do it this way. I prefer to do it towards me. So what I'm doing is I'm rubbing the piece of paper and the piece of tape right there so that it sticks to the top. I'm going to lay it flat and then start from the center, taping it onto the paper. And now I have it on both sides, half on this side and half on that side. And now these two are joined together. And now we have one accordion. You could also tape in here. It's totally up to you. I'm not going to do that for this one. I think this tape should hold. If you're not sure if it will hold or not, like I said, you could take your scissors and do that, or your bone folder, and just press that tape so that it sticks firmly onto the paper. All right, for the cover, I'm going to use this pizza box that I got from Pizza Hut. I was out doing DoorDash and I asked the guy if it was cool if he gave me a box, and he did. He gave me a box. So ask and you shall receive. So we're going to use the box as a cover. Now, you just got to pick what you want on the cover. I think I want this here, this little section for the front. And what I'll do is, sorry, it's out of frame, but I'll put my paper down, draw a line right outside, draw another line right outside, a line right outside, just like that. And then I'm going to cut that out. I followed the outline and I cut the piece outside of that outline because I wanted to try to place the journal on here, and with my ruler pressing down firmly, I want to cut that board straight. Now, you don't have to do it this way. You could just follow that line with scissors and then trim as you go along. I find that this one is going to be a little bit more exact. There's that. And what I'm doing is I'm putting the ruler right on the white paper and then just shifting it over just a little bit so that it's tucked inside. And then I follow the ruler and cut that extra board off. There. One more. And now I find that's more accurate. And here I'm just really literally repeating what I did for the first one. So you're watching it be done again. Not to worry, as long as you cut outside, if there's some parts that still need to be trimmed, you can always go back and trim afterwards. And to attach the cover, we're just going to bring in another piece of tape and we're going to create some hinges. You'll see what I mean in just a second. I'm probably going to do it in threes. 1, 2, and 3. You can maybe do 2 if you have thicker tape, but I'm going to use 3 for now. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this flap and I'm going to align my cover to that flap. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so that the cardboard is sticking out just a tiny little bit. I'm going to take one of my pieces of tape, put half of it on this side and half on the other side. Take one in the middle. Same, repeat. Put it on the other side. Same, put half on this side, half on the other side. And now I can let that go. That little piece of tape just serves as hinges to hold this in the spot where I need it to be. I'm going to bring in a sacrificial piece of paper, lay it flat. The paper is just to protect the glue from getting on this sheet. We're going to grab some glue stick and we're going to be generous with it. Just place it all up here. I just realized something. I really hope that this glue sticks because the back of this cardboard has some kind of wax on it. So I'm afraid that this might not work, but we'll find out. So all you do is you take your cover and then you push it down and then push it out just a little bit. Okay. So you're going to press it down and then move it over and then press. And that's really all it takes. Just press down firmly and press it down like that. And voila, just like that, we have our front cover. I like one of the subscribers here, Ivan, he pointed out that he really likes this and you could maybe use it in some way. I kind of like it too, but we're not going to use it for now. And then all you need to do is just remove these hinges because they've already served their purpose. And then we're going to repeat on the other side. We're just going to do a quick run through. This is our front cover. We're going to go through the journal and this back part is going to close this way and we want it facing upward. And we go and do the exact same steps we did before. We're going to line up our journal to the edge of the cover with just a tiny little bit of brown showing still. Tape half of it on this side, half of it on the other side. Down the center, do the exact same thing. This bottom piece is going to get the same treatment, and there you have it. Now we can open this up, bring in our sacrificial paper, lay that flat, add some glue. I like this purple glue because I could see where I've already applied some of the glue, and then it dries clear. So again, just close this one and then push it over and then press. And that should be it. That should do the trick. Okay. Remove our tape. Sometimes it's going to bring a little bit of the paper, and that's fine. No big deal. I'm not worried about that, especially how we're going to use this book. It's going to be in our pockets. It's going to be taking a bit of a beating, so it doesn't really matter. As long as it glues fine, we're good. And now you could just leave this as is. I like this in particular because it lays flat, but sometimes those little extra piece will interfere with it, especially on this side. It's a little bit too long. See how it sticks out here? So what I like to do is I like to, again, line up the white and then go out a tiny little bit. Same with the other side. Even though it's just a little sliver, I want to make sure that it doesn't interfere with me wanting to lay this journal flat. There it is. And now we have ourselves a book. If you wanted to make sure that this stays, you could lay it flat and add a piece of tape here. I'm not going to do that for this one. It's not really necessary. But if you are going to do it, my favorite tape to use is hockey tape. Just grab yourself a piece of hockey tape and it'll protect your spine just fine like this. Or you can leave it alone and not put anything. And if you start seeing that it's going to open up on you, then go ahead and add it. Great way of just reinforcing it slightly. And there you go. Now you have yourself a utility pocket journal. If you end up making this, I want to see pictures of it. So join us on Discord. The link is in the description down below, and share your journals. You can also see what other people are doing and get some ideas.